Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, opening a forgotten piggy bank, or checking the loose change in your pocket, only to discover a tiny 1-cent wheat penny that could completely change your life. It may sound unbelievable, but some of the rarest Lincoln Wheat Pennies have sold for astonishing prices, with certain legendary examples valued in the hundreds of thousands and even over $1 million by serious collectors. Their incredible worth comes from rare minting errors, extremely low production numbers, historical significance, and exceptional condition. In today's video, we're counting down 7 of the rarest wheat pennies ever discovered, coins that have fascinated the numismatic world for decades. From the famous 1943 bronze cent to other legendary error coins and key date rarities, each one has an amazing story behind it and a value that could surprise you. Could one of these hidden treasures still be sitting in an old collection, a family inheritance, or even your own coin jar? Stay with us until the end, because the final penny on this list is considered one of the most sought-after and valuable 1-cent coins in American history, and it might be worth far more than you ever imagined. Coin number 1. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're starting our countdown with a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. The 1934 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary 1-cent coin, but its history and collectible appeal make it a favorite among coin enthusiasts. The 1934 Wheat Penny was produced during one of the most challenging periods in American history, the Great Depression. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of workers, families, and businesses as the nation slowly recovered from economic hardship. Because of this rich history, every surviving example tells a story from nearly a century ago. One of the first things many people notice is that there is no mint mark below the date. Beginners often think this means the coin is an error or an ultra-rare variety. In reality, the absence of a mint mark simply indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which commonly produced coins without a mint mark during that era. So why do some people believe these pennies are worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in condition rarity and special varieties. While an ordinary circulated 1934 wheat penny is generally inexpensive, an exceptionally preserved specimen with original mint color or a genuinely rare minting error can command dramatically higher prices in the collector market. If you own a 1934 wheat penny, examine it carefully under good lighting. Check for unusual doubling in the lettering, die cracks, off-center strikes, or other mint errors. Also pay close attention to the overall condition. Coins with sharp details, minimal wear, and attractive surfaces are far more desirable than heavily circulated examples. Professional grading services play a major role in determining value. A coin authenticated and graded by a respected grading company often attracts more collector confidence and can sell for a premium compared with an uncertified example. Another important point is that online listings can be misleading. You may see sellers asking enormous amounts for ordinary coins, but asking prices do not necessarily reflect actual market value. Experienced collectors rely on verified auction records and professional evaluations instead of unrealistic listings. The design of the 1934 wheat penny itself is iconic. The obverse features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic design remained in use until 1958 and remains one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Even if your 1934 wheat penny is not worth a fortune, it can still be an exciting historical artifact and a meaningful addition to any collection. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete date sets of Lincoln Wheat cents, making every year an important piece of the puzzle. Before you spend or sell an old penny, take a closer look. You might discover an interesting variety or a well-preserved example that deserves professional evaluation. And remember, patience and research are 2 of the most valuable tools in coin collecting. Stay tuned as we continue our countdown of remarkable wheat pennies and uncover the stories behind some of the most famous 1-cent coins ever produced. Coin number 2, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Could this ordinary penny be a hidden treasure? Coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we're taking a closer look at another fascinating piece of American history, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may appear to be just another old 1-cent coin. But for many collectors, this tiny copper coin represents decades of history, mystery, and the possibility of discovering something truly extraordinary. Take a close look at the date, 1944. Now look beneath it and notice the small S mint mark. That tiny letter tells us the coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint during the final years of World War II, a time when every material used in manufacturing was extremely important to the American war effort. Many people become excited when they discover a 1944S wheat penny because stories circulate online claiming these coins are worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. While most examples are common, there are exceptional varieties and rare mint errors that can become highly valuable in the numismatic market. One feature that often catches attention is a dark or black layer, appearing on the reverse side of the coin. Some collectors immediately assume this means the coin is rare, but that is not always true. Over decades of circulation and storage, copper coins naturally develop toning, oxidation, or environmental discoloration. Sometimes this creates beautiful shades of brown, chocolate, black, or even rainbow colors. However, in certain situations, unusual surfaces combined with verified mint errors or extraordinary preservation can make a coin much more desirable. This is why professional authentication is so important before assigning a significant value. The reverse of the coin features the famous wheat ears design with two elegant wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design symbolized America's agricultural strength and remained in production until 1958, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Collectors searching through old jars, inherited collections, estate sales, and bankrolls continue to inspect every 1944S wheat penny they find. Why? Because hidden among millions of ordinary coins could be an unusual die variety, a dramatic strike error, or an exceptionally preserved specimen that stands out from the rest. When examining your own coin, use a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for doubled letters, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, unusual metal composition, or other minting anomalies. Even tiny details can make an enormous difference in collectability. Condition is another critical factor. Coins with sharp details, minimal wear, original surfaces, and attractive eye appeal generally receive stronger interest from collectors. Professional grading services evaluate these characteristics carefully before assigning a numerical grade. Another mistake many beginners make is believing every expensive online listing reflects actual market value. Sellers can ask any price they wish, but true value is determined by completed sales, certified examples, rarity, and collector demand. The history behind the 1944 issue is especially fascinating. During 1943, the U.S. Mint produced steel cents to conserve copper for the war. In 1944 copper-based pennies returned to production, creating one of the most interesting periods in Lincoln cent history. Because of this transition, rare composition errors from both years have become legendary among collectors. Imagine opening an old family coin box and finding a 1944S wheat penny tucked away for generations. It may simply be a historic keepsake, or it could possess characteristics that deserve closer examination by an expert. That possibility keeps collectors searching every single day. Whether your coin is worth only a few cents or significantly more, it represents a remarkable piece of American history that has survived for more than 80 years. Every scratch, every mark, and every layer of toning tells part of its journey through countless hands and decades of circulation. So before spending an old penny or dismissing it as ordinary, inspect it carefully. Research its date, mint mark, and condition. Compare it with verified examples and consider professional evaluation if something appears unusual. And don't miss the next coin in our countdown, because the upcoming wheat penny has an even more fascinating story and may surprise you with its rarity, historical significance, and the incredible prices collectors have been willing to pay for extraordinary examples. Coin number 3, the 1957D Lincoln Wheat Penny, an overlooked coin or a collector's dream. Welcome back, everyone. We've already explored some fascinating wheat pennies, but now it's time to examine another coin that often surprises collectors, the 1957D Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than an ordinary 1-cent coin, Yet thousands of collectors continue searching for this date every year, hoping to uncover a hidden rarity. The first thing you'll notice is the date, 1957, followed by the small letter D beneath it. That tiny mint mark tells us this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities responsible for manufacturing millions of Lincoln cents during the 1950s. So why does this coin attract so much attention? The answer lies in the world of rare varieties, minting errors, and exceptional preservation. Although millions of standard 1957 D pennies were struck, certain unusual examples have become highly desirable among collectors. The possibility of discovering one of these special coins keeps people examining old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes every single day. Imagine finding a dusty coin album in your grandparents' attic. Inside sits a small copper penny dated 1957 with a D mint mark. To most people, it may appear insignificant, but to an experienced collector, that tiny coin deserves a much closer inspection. One of the first things experts evaluate is condition. A very fine example still retains much of its original detail despite years of circulation. Lincoln's hair should remain visible, the cheek and jawline should show moderate wear, and the lettering should still be crisp and easy to read. On the reverse, the wheat stalks should display considerable detail, making the coin attractive to collectors. Next comes originality. Coins that have never been harshly cleaned or polished often command greater respect within the hobby. Many beginners mistakenly clean old pennies, believing they will become more valuable, when in reality, cleaning frequently reduces collector interest. Collectors also pay close attention to striking quality. Some coins emerge from the mint with sharper details than others due to differences in die pressure and die condition. Strong strikes with crisp lettering and complete design elements often stand out among ordinary examples. Another fascinating aspect involves mint errors. Throughout history, mechanical problems occasionally occurred during production. Misaligned dies, double designs, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks can all create unusual coins that become collectible because of their scarcity. The 1957 series is especially famous for one remarkable variety, the dramatic double die obverse, discovered on some Philadelphia issues. Although the double die is not the same as the standard 1957 D penny, its fame has encouraged collectors to inspect every 1957 cent they encounter, hoping to find something unusual. This excitement has created countless stories of people discovering valuable coins in unexpected places. Some found rare pieces in bankrolls. Others inherited collections assembled decades ago. A few lucky individuals uncovered important varieties while simply sorting pocket change at home. The Lincoln Wheat Penny itself carries tremendous historical significance. Introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. Its classic wheat ear reverse remained in production until 1958, making the final years of the series especially popular among collectors. Assembling a complete wheat penny collection is a goal shared by many hobbyists around the world. Every date and mint mark contributes another chapter to the story of American coinage. Even common issues become meaningful when viewed as part of a complete historical collection. When evaluating any old penny, magnification is your friend. Examine the lettering carefully. Look for unusual doubling, missing design elements, strange surface textures, or evidence of striking errors. Small details invisible to the naked eye can completely change the importance of a coin. Professional grading companies provide authentication and condition assessments that help buyers and sellers establish confidence in the marketplace. A certified coin with an accurate grade often attracts stronger collector demand than an uncertified example. It is also important to separate asking prices from actual market results. Online marketplaces sometimes display extraordinary price tags, but experienced numismatists rely on documented auction sales and verified transactions when determining realistic values. Despite being produced nearly 70 years ago, the 1957D wheat penny continues to circulate through collections, estate sales, flea markets, and family inheritances. Every discovery reminds collectors that history can survive in the smallest objects. For many people, the true value of these coins extends beyond money. They connect generations, preserve stories from the past, and inspire curiosity about history, economics, and craftsmanship. Holding one in your hand is like holding a tiny piece of 20th century America. So before dismissing an old penny as ordinary, take another look. Study its mint mark, inspect its condition, and compare it with trusted references. You may not uncover a fortune, but you could discover an interesting variety or a treasured addition to your collection. And stay tuned for the next coin in our countdown, because the upcoming wheat penny has an even more intriguing background and could reveal another incredible chapter in the fascinating world of rare American coins. Coin. Number 4. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Without a mint, bark. A forgotten coin with a fascinating story. As we continue our journey through the world of rare and collectible wheat pennies, we arrive at another coin that has sparked curiosity among collectors for decades. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary old copper cent. But behind its simple appearance lies a remarkable history connected to one of the most important periods in American history. The year 1946 marked the beginning of a new chapter for the United States. World War II had just ended, soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting back to civilian production, and the country was rebuilding after years of conflict. During this historic period, millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies entered circulation and became part of everyday life. If you examine the front of the coin closely, you'll notice something interesting. There is no mint mark beneath the date. Many new collectors believe this means the coin is an error, or an ultra-rare variety. In reality, the missing mint mark simply indicates that the penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place mint marks on Lincoln cents during that era. Even though millions were produced, collectors still search for 1,946 Philadelphia pennies every day. Why? Because history has shown that hidden among ordinary coins can sometimes be remarkable varieties, striking errors, or unusually preserved examples that command much greater attention. Imagine opening an old family coin album that has not been touched for 50 years. Tucked inside one of the pages is a dark brown 1946 wheat penny with smooth surfaces and decades of history behind it. That simple discovery can begin an exciting journey into the world of numismatics. Collectors first evaluate the coin's condition. An almost fine example has experienced noticeable circulation, but still retains recognizable design details. Lincoln's portrait remains visible, the date is clear, and much of the lettering can still be read without difficulty. On the reverse, the famous wheat ears continue to show shape, although wear may have softened the finer details. The reverse design itself is one of the most beloved images in American coinage. Two graceful wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating a classic design that remained in use until 1958. Many collectors consider it one of the most beautiful and recognizable reverses ever placed on a circulating coin. Beyond condition, experts examine originality. Coins that have remained untouched by polishing or harsh cleaning generally appeal more strongly to serious collectors. Cleaning often removes the natural surfaces that developed over decades and can significantly reduce collectible value. Another important factor is minting quality. During production, mechanical problems occasionally occurred. These could crack, shift, or strike improperly, creating unusual varieties that become collectible because relatively few exist. These mint errors are one reason collectors carefully inspect every old penny they find. Some enthusiasts spend weekends searching through coin rolls obtained from banks. Others attend estate sales, flea markets, antique shops, and auctions, hoping to discover overlooked treasures. Stories occasionally emerge of rare coins found in ordinary places, inspiring thousands of new collectors to begin their own searches. The 1946 issue is especially interesting because it was produced immediately after wartime manufacturing changes. Copper once again became widely available following the special steel cents of 1943, making post-war wheat pennies an important part of the Lincoln cent timeline. Many people make the mistake of assuming that every old coin is automatically valuable. Age alone does not determine price. Rarity, condition, demand, mint errors, certification, and historical significance all combine to influence what collectors are willing to pay. Professional grading companies play a major role in this process. Experts carefully inspect a coin's surfaces, strike quality, wear, luster, and authenticity before assigning an official grade. Certified coins often inspire greater buyer confidence in the marketplace. It is also important to distinguish between advertised prices and actual market transactions. Online listings sometimes display enormous asking prices, but successful auction results and verified sales provide a much more accurate picture of collector demand. For many collectors, however, the greatest reward is not financial. Every wheat penny serves as a tiny time capsule connecting the present with America's past. It may have traveled through countless cities, purchased everyday necessities, or rested quietly in family collections for generations before being rediscovered. Children often inherit these coins from parents or grandparents, preserving family traditions while developing an appreciation for history and collecting. In that sense, a simple 1-cent piece becomes much more than currency. It becomes a memory passed from one generation to the next. If you own a 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark, examine it carefully under magnification. Look for unusual doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or other minting anomalies. Compare it with reliable references, and if something appears exceptional, consider professional authentication. Whether your coin is worth only a small premium or something more significant, its historical importance cannot be denied. It represents an era of recovery, optimism, and renewal after one of the most difficult periods in world history. So before spending that old penny or leaving it forgotten in a drawer, give it another careful look. Sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest stories. And stay with us, because our countdown is far from over. The next wheat penny on our list has its own incredible history and continues to fascinate collectors around the world who dream of discovering a hidden treasure in the most unexpected places. Coin number 5, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Without a mint, mark, a historic coin that every collector should check. Our countdown of fascinating Lincoln Wheat Pennies. And now we arrive at another coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. It may look like an ordinary old penny that has spent decades in circulation, but its history and the excitement surrounding rare varieties make it a coin that deserves a closer look. Take a moment and imagine finding an old glass jar hidden in your grandparents' home. Inside are dozens of dusty coins collected many years ago. As you sort through them, one penny immediately catches your eye. The date reads 1945, and beneath the year, there is no mint mark. The surface has developed several brown spots from decades of age and storage. Could this little coin be something special? The year 1945 holds enormous historical significance. It marked the end of World War II, one of the most important events in modern history. Soldiers were returning home, industries were changing from wartime production back to civilian manufacturing, and millions of Americans were beginning a new chapter in their lives. During this remarkable period, Lincoln Wheat Pennies continued circulating across the nation and became part of everyday commerce. Many beginning collectors believe that the absence of a mint mark means the coin is a mint error. In fact, the missing mint mark simply indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that era, Philadelphia coins commonly carried no mint mark at all. Even though the 1945 Philadelphia penny was produced in large numbers, collectors still examine every example they find. Why? Because history has repeatedly shown that rare die varieties, striking errors, and exceptionally preserved specimens can hide among otherwise ordinary coins. The classic wheat penny design remains one of the most admired in American numismatics. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's portrait represents leadership and national unity. On the reverse, two elegant wheat stalks surround the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating a timeless design that remained in production until 1958. Now let's talk about those brown spots. Many old copper coins naturally develop different shades over time due to oxidation and environmental exposure. Depending on storage conditions, a coin may become light brown, dark chocolate, reddish brown, or display scattered spots across its surface. While unusual colors can sometimes attract collector interest, color changes alone do not automatically make a coin rare or highly valuable. Experienced collectors pay attention to much more than appearance. They study strike quality, originality, luster, preservation, and possible mint errors. Tiny details invisible to the naked eye can completely change how a coin is viewed within the collecting community. Using a magnifying glass or microscope, experts carefully inspect every letter and number. They search for doubled inscriptions, die cracks, repunched mint marks on applicable coins, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other unusual production characteristics that may increase collector demand. Condition also plays a critical role. A heavily worn coin generally attracts less attention than one with sharp details and attractive surfaces. Professional grading services evaluate every aspect of preservation before assigning an official grade that helps establish confidence for buyers and sellers. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is cleaning old pennies. A polished coin may appear brighter, but removing its natural surfaces can significantly reduce its appeal to experienced numismatists. In many cases, leaving the coin untouched is the best decision. The internet has also created confusion regarding coin values. It is common to see ordinary wheat pennies listed for enormous sums online. However, asking prices do not necessarily represent real market value. Serious collectors rely on verified auction records, professional appraisals, and certified examples when determining what a coin is actually worth. Despite this, stories of unexpected discoveries continue to inspire people everywhere. Some collectors have found interesting varieties while searching bankrolls. Others inherited forgotten albums filled with historic coins. Estate sales, flea markets, antique shops, and family collections remain popular places where hidden treasures occasionally emerge. The 1945 wheat penny also serves as an educational tool for younger generations. Holding a coin minted during the final year of World War II creates a direct connection to history. Every scratch, every mark, and every change in color tells part of the coin's journey through countless hands over more than 80 years. Many collectors pursue complete Lincoln Wheat Penny sets containing an every date and mint mark from 1909 through 1958. Completing such a collection requires patience, research, and careful observation, making every individual coin an important piece of a much larger story. If you discover a 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark, examine it carefully before making assumptions. Look for unusual characteristics, compare it with trusted reference images, and consider professional authentication if something appears genuinely different from standard examples. Whether your coin turns out to be common or unexpectedly special, it still represents an important artifact from American history. Its value may be measured not only in dollars, but also in the story it carries through generations of circulation and preservation. So before tossing an old penny into a change jar or spending it without a second thought, stop and take a closer look. Sometimes the smallest coins spark the greatest curiosity and inspire lifelong interest in collecting. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin in our countdown brings another fascinating story, another historic date, and another opportunity to explore the incredible world of Lincoln Wheat Pennies that continue to captivate collectors across the globe. Coin number 6, the 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint. Mark, a small coin with a big story. Fascinating Lincoln Wheat Pennies with another historic coin that has attracted the attention of collectors for decades. The 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like just another old copper penny. It's small, worn, but experienced collectors know that some of the most interesting discoveries in numismatics begin with coins that appear completely ordinary. Imagine opening an old wooden box that has been sitting untouched in an attic for generations. Inside, among old photographs, letters, and family keepsakes, you discover a small collection of wheat pennies. As you sort through them, one coin catches your attention. The date reads 1939. There is no mint mark beneath the year. The surfaces show wear from circulation, yet the coin remains clearly identifiable. Could this be a hidden treasure? That question is exactly what inspires coin collectors around the world. The year 1939 was one of the most significant years of the 20th century. While Americans were still recovering from the effects of the Great Depression, major world events were unfolding overseas. Europe was entering a period of conflict that would eventually become World War II. Against this backdrop, millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies circulated through stores, banks, farms, factories, and households across America. Every 1939 wheat penny carries a connection to that remarkable era. When collectors examine this coin, one of the first things they notice is the absence of a mint mark. Many people assume that no mint mark means the coin contains an error. In reality, the lack of a mint mark simply means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that period, Philadelphia cents generally carried no mint mark at all. Even though many 1939 Philadelphia cents were produced, collectors continue searching for them because rare varieties and unusual minting characteristics occasionally appear among otherwise ordinary coins. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself is one of the most popular coin collections in the world. First introduced in 1909, it honored President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. It was also historic because it became the first regularly circulating American coin to feature the portrait of a real person. On the front of the coin, Lincoln's portrait remains one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the dates surround the design. On the reverse, two elegant wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic design remained in use until 1958 and continues to be admired by collectors today. Now let's discuss condition. A fine condition 1939 wheat penny has spent years in circulation but still retains many important design details. Lincoln's hair shows visible wear, yet major features remain recognizable. The lettering remains readable, and portions of the wheat ears continue to display detail. Condition matters because collectors often pay closer attention to coins that survive decades of circulation while preserving attractive features. However, condition is only one part of the story. Experienced numismatists search for other important characteristics. They inspect the coin under magnification, looking for doubled letters, die cracks, repunched design elements, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other unusual minting anomalies. Sometimes the smallest detail can transform an ordinary coin into a fascinating collectible. This possibility keeps collectors searching through coin rolls, estate sales, flea markets, auctions, and inherited collections. Stories of unexpected discoveries have become legendary within the hobby. Some collectors have found valuable varieties hidden inside old albums. Others discovered unusual coins while sorting pocket change. A few lucky individuals uncovered important pieces in family collections that had remained untouched for decades. These stories inspire thousands of people to begin collecting every year. Another important factor is originality. Many old coins have been cleaned over the years. While cleaning may seem like a good idea, it often reduces collector interest because it alters the natural surfaces that developed over decades. Most experienced collectors prefer original coins that display natural aging and authentic wear. Professional grading services play a major role in today's coin market. These organizations evaluate authenticity, preservation, strike quality, and overall appearance before assigning an official grade. Certified coins often attract stronger confidence from buyers because their authenticity and condition have been independently verified. The internet has also changed the coin hobby dramatically. Today, collectors can instantly compare examples, study auction records, and learn about rare varieties from around the world. However, one important lesson remains true. Asking prices and actual values are not always the same thing. A coin may be listed online for an enormous amount, but experienced collectors rely on verified sales and expert evaluations when determining realistic market value. Despite this, the thrill of discovery remains stronger than ever. Every old penny represents a possibility. Every collection holds potential surprises. Every forgotten coin jar could contain an overlooked piece of history. For many collectors, this excitement is what makes the hobby so rewarding. The 1939 wheat penny is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a survivor from an era of economic recovery, global uncertainty, and historic change. It traveled through the hands of ordinary people living during extraordinary times. It witnessed history in a way few objects can. Whether your coin turns out to be common or something truly special, it remains an important artifact from America's past. So the next time you encounter a 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, don't dismiss it too quickly. Examine it carefully. Study its details, research its history, and remember that every great coin discovery begins with someone taking a second look at a coin everyone else ignored. Stay tuned because our countdown isn't over yet. The next wheat penny on our list has another fascinating story, another historic date, and another opportunity to explore the incredible world of rare and collectible Lincoln cents. Coin number 7, the 1918 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Without a mint, mark, could this century-old penny be a hidden treasure? We've finally reached the last coin in today's countdown, and it's one that has fascinated collectors for generations, the 1918 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. More than 100 years old, this small copper coin is a remarkable survivor from one of the most important periods in world history. Imagine holding a penny that circulated while World War I was still underway. Think about the countless hands it may have passed through, the stores where it was spent, the wages it may have helped pay, and the history it silently witnessed over more than a century. At first glance, the coin appears simple. The date reads 1918, and beneath it there is no mint mark. Its surface has darkened over time, and now displays a black layer that immediately catches the eye. Many people wonder whether this unusual appearance means the coin is extremely rare. The answer is not always straightforward. Copper naturally changes color as it ages, depending on storage conditions, humidity, and environmental exposure. Old pennies can develop shades ranging from bright red to reddish brown, chocolate brown, or even very dark black surfaces. This natural toning often reflects decades of oxidation and chemical reactions that occurred while the coin was stored. For some collectors, attractive natural toning adds character and historical appeal. However, color alone does not automatically make a coin rare or valuable. So why do collectors become excited whenever they discover a 1918 wheat penny? The answer lies in its age, historical importance, and the possibility that unusual varieties or mint errors may exist among surviving examples. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. By 1918, the design had already become familiar throughout America. On the obverse appears the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty, and the date." On the reverse, two elegant wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, creating one of the most iconic coin designs ever produced by the United States Mint. When collectors inspect a 1918 penny, they begin with the basics. Is the date genuine? Does the coin show signs of alteration? Has it been cleaned or repaired? Are there unusual characteristics that distinguish it from ordinary examples? Next comes the mint mark. Because this particular coin has no mint mark, it indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. During that era, Philadelphia cents typically carried no mint mark at all. Condition then becomes another major consideration. A coin that has survived more than a century while retaining strong design details naturally attracts greater attention than one that has been heavily worn or damaged. Collectors carefully examine Lincoln's hair, facial features, lettering, and overall strike quality. On the reverse, they inspect the wheat stalks, lettering, and fields for signs of excessive wear or unusual characteristics. Many enthusiasts also search for minting errors. Throughout the history of coin production, machinery occasionally malfunctioned. These developed cracks. Planchets were improperly prepared. Coins were struck off center. Design elements doubled unexpectedly. These mistakes sometimes produce fascinating varieties that later became highly collectible. For this reason, experienced collectors never examine an old penny with the naked eye alone. Magnification often reveals tiny details invisible during casual inspection. Some hobbyists use jeweler's loupes. Others rely on digital microscopes capable of revealing microscopic differences between ordinary and unusual specimens. One of the most common misconceptions in coin collecting is that every old penny must be worth a fortune. Age certainly contributes to historical interest, but rarity depends on many additional factors. Survival numbers, collector demand, original surfaces, professional certification, mint errors, overall condition. These characteristics work together to determine how desirable a coin becomes within the marketplace. Professional grading services provide valuable assistance by authenticating coins and assigning standardized grades based on preservation. Certified examples often inspire greater confidence among buyers because they have been independently evaluated by specialists. The internet has introduced millions of people to coin collecting. Every day, photographs of old pennies appear online accompanied by extraordinary asking prices. However, experienced collectors understand the importance of separating advertised prices from documented sales. Verified auction records provide a much clearer picture of what collectors have actually paid for comparable coins. Still, remarkable discoveries continue to occur. Collectors have uncovered interesting varieties in inherited albums. Bankroll hunters have located scarce coins hidden among ordinary circulation pieces. Families cleaning old homes occasionally discover forgotten collections assembled decades earlier. These stories fuel the excitement that keeps the hobby alive. For many people, collecting wheat pennies is about far more than financial value. Each coin represents a connection to another generation. A single cent minted in 1918 may have survived world wars, economic crises, technological revolutions, and countless changes in society before finally reaching today's collector. Few everyday objects possess such an extraordinary journey. The dark black layer visible on some old copper coins often reflects years of natural aging. In some cases, environmental exposure creates dramatic surface colors that make every coin visually unique. Collectors frequently appreciate these differences because no two naturally toned coins develop in exactly the same way. If you ever discover a 1918 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, take your time before making assumptions. Inspect it carefully. Compare it with trusted reference images. Look for unusual doubling, die cracks, striking errors, or other noteworthy characteristics. If something appears genuinely different, professional authentication may provide additional insight. Whether the coin proves to be an ordinary circulated example or something much more unusual, it remains a fascinating piece of American history. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can survive for generations and preserve stories that would otherwise be forgotten. And that is the true magic of coin collecting. Every penny has a journey. Every date tells a story. Every collector begins with a single discovery. Perhaps your next old coin will become the one that sparks a lifelong passion for history, research, and the endless excitement of searching for hidden treasures. Thank you for joining this countdown of remarkable Lincoln Wheat Pennies. Keep checking your pocket change, searching old collections, and exploring forgotten coin jars, because you never know what piece of history might be waiting to be discovered.